on that thing for a really, really long time. So not just like from a championship perspective, but when you're in the city, they do a lot of good in the community.
Wagner's part of a growing number of current and former players that are moving into the ownership ranks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. That shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping. Like a heartbeat's call, he's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Well, good morning there, you wonderful people, you. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. Got some stuff today. I'm going to chat about some things. I think I owe you guys a show, or at least a couple of segments, where we come up with some solutions. Yesterday, I talked about things that didn't really have any solution. I just presented information as it stands with no pathway to making things better. Let's have some solutions today. So we're going to sort out how we can fix broken stuff in our wonderful, incredible American society. And also, maybe we'll do something new today. Maybe we'll do a little therapy session today. You know, maybe that's what you need. A lot of you have been listening to me for a very long time, and I cannot express to you, first, my apologies, but secondly, how much I really appreciate that. I do. And some of you might even consider me a trusted source of something, humor, information, education, I don't know. And if you've been listening to me for a long time and you think that I'm a trusted source of something, you might trust me more than some stranger therapist that you don't know. So maybe we'll do a little therapy. Fellas, let me tell you who inspired this, my producer. I'm not going to out you totally, X, but he's brought some things to my attention that, are worthy of discussion because we all go through similar things, and sometimes it's just good to talk about them or validation for how we may feel about things that we experience when other people chime in and agree and they've also experienced some of the same things. So maybe we'll do a little therapy session. Hell, I need therapy. I'm fortunate, though, because this radio program is very therapeutic for me because I get to express myself, my thoughts, my opinions. Some of them make no sense whatsoever, but I know that after every show, and some shows are a lot better than others. But remember, I get paid for the attempt. Like, I don't get paid based on how good my show is. But there are most days I feel much lighter after 3 hours of conversation about God knows what. Well, then Al calls, and that puts the weight back on my shoulders because I feel like I'm just one syllable away from getting canceled when Al calls, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm very fortunate, and then I get to talk to you all every day, share thoughts, come up with answers, complain and gripe about the world. Very fortunate, but that's a form of therapy for me. So for that, I thank you yet again. Couple of things that make me sad. There are young people now, and you're a young person if you're, to me, in your late 20s, your 30s. They may not see themselves as young people, but I certainly do just because they have no idea what the next 5 or 10 years will look like. Now, you can plan for your future, and I would encourage you to do so, no matter what age you are. Please plan and be prepared for your future, or set a series of goals or concoct a plan as to where you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Maybe some of you are looking forward to a new job, a new career. Maybe some of you are going back to school. Maybe some of you are looking forward to retirement, or you're looking forward to getting married or having kids or having grandkids. Those are all wonderful things, but you just can't predict with any kind of accuracy what the future is going to look like. Who I feel bad for is these young people that think that this world that we are in right now is normal. If your developmental environment was the September 11th downing of the Twin Towers and other buildings as well, and the corruption that we've seen in government, and yes, George W. Bush was corrupt, and then your formative years as a young adult, you've seen Donald Trump's rise to power. Donald Trump came down that elevator 11 years ago. That's a long time that he has been a part of the political landscape. I was listening to NPR this morning, and more members of Congress have either resigned or been sanctioned or disciplined because of corruption than since the Civil War. So prior to all of this current wave of resignations, I believe it's 4 members of Congress have simply stepped down. They have resigned because they have ethics investigations going on, everything from money laundering to sexual misconduct. The last time we had this many either expulsions or investigations or resignations were members of the Confederacy that were also elected to Congress, because Congress had an obligation then during the Civil War to expel those who were sympathetic with the treasonous traitors that tried to start their own country based on slavery. So if this is your world right now, I feel horrible for you, because there was a time where maybe it wasn't quite this bad, or we were less connected because there was no internet back in what I call the analog days, and maybe we just didn't know about it. But if this is normal to you, if you're a young person and you're struggling to pay your rent, you're in huge amounts of debt, credit card debt, student loan debt, prices are going up left and right, and wages are not. This is a horrible, horrible time. And I feel really bad for those young people because I understand their anger. I understand their incredible pessimism. I also understand why they may take what we say, the older folk, our words of wisdom with a grain of salt, because in a way we kind of created this world, or we turned a blind eye to fundamental changes in decency in American society. Gone are the days where the default setting, and I got a story I'm going to share with you about this default setting being gone. The default setting was you respected your elders. You could disagree with them. You could not like what they were saying. You could also take issue with the discipline that they were ushering down. But at the end of the day, there was a level of respect that was almost automatic. That is no longer the default setting where a young person, a teenager, will get in a grown person's face, someone who represents some kind of authority, a minimal kind of authority, like a parent, a grandparent, even an adult that you didn't know, a teacher. I'm going to share with you some information that I found startling, troubling, but it also illustrates that analog time that we lived in, before everything got digital and before everybody came such like hyper individually focused, it just seemed like it was a gentler time. And there were just some real basic tenets of respect that have simply eroded. And if we are in a situation now where the older cohort of people, whatever generation you may be a part of, if there is no basic level of respect for you just because of your experience, your chronological age, we have completely lost control of the world. It's already difficult to plan for the future, but if there are no default settings and basic modicums of respect, I feel even worse for the young people, the younger people, the Gen Alphas and even younger, because they are born into an absolute mess. The economy is a mess. I believe we're at war. The Straits of Hormuz are open and they're closed and they're closed and they're open, kind of like a black business. You never know when it's open. Tuesday from 2 until 4 p.m., closed on Sundays for church, open Wednesday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. When I think about how I can make the most difference, I'm going to say this and I'm going to take a break, come back and dig into it. I often thought about being a teacher because the information that I've been providing for a very long time, some people have never heard before. They had no idea. They were never exposed to it. They didn't learn it in school. They didn't learn it in college. They didn't learn it just in experience in the world. And I'm thinking to myself, well, wow, maybe I need a classroom because I want young people to know at a very young age what it took me 50 years to learn. Imagine how much better off we'd be if those who are freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors in high school knew and were exposed to what it took some of us a half of a century to learn. I think that we could really equip those young people for a very hard to predict future. When I come back, we're going to go down to West Memphis, Arkansas, and the situation that took place that makes me happy that I opted not to be a teacher or an instructor. Especially in these days and times, you certainly want to stick around for this. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, where I believe we titled the show Throwing Hands, yeah? And also our YouTube poll of the day, because, you know, I have an inquisitive temperament. Do you have any tattoos? I'm curious. I'm not judging you. Most of my friends are tatted from the Ruta to the Tuta. I don't even know what a Ruta or a Tuta is, but most of the people that I know have some ink. They got a little bit of ink. You know, back in the day, a girl would just get like a rose on her ankle or a butterfly on her shoulder. Now people are totally covered. I'm just curious because I'm going to make a correlation. The hyper individuality that we see now compared to back then, because back in my day, the only people that got tattoos were freaks and like sailors. And people in the Marines, they got the eagle and the anchor on their forearm. Those are the only, or they got like a naked lady. Those are the only tattoos that people had. People that were in the military and people that were weird. that smoked drugs out of tubes were the only people that got tattoos. Now, you got 67-year-old grandmothers. Why would you do that, Grandma? Why, Gigi? Mima, why are you getting inked up? So go to youtube.com. Open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth. Hit subscribe, for goodness sakes. And you'll be able to live stream the program and also participate in the very lively YouTube chat. And you'll also be able to participate in our YouTube poll. Do you have any ink? Some people have ink. Women have ink on their breasts. If a woman has a tattoo on her upper breast, red flag. Run from her. Run from that woman. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 1017 The Truth. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Set the cheetahs on the loose. There's a thief out on the move.
Write it down because you may need it for later. Our phone number you can call, you can text 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. One of the reasons why, there's many reasons why I'm glad I'm not an instructor, classroom instructor of any sort. It's dangerous. At any level that you're teaching, it could be dangerous. Even on college campuses, you have mass shootings. Believe it or not, there was a time in America where that wasn't a thing. Yet another reason why I miss the old school analog days. We didn't get shot at school. There were no mass shooter drills. And they're very explicit with them, too. Nowadays, they tell the kids it's a mass shooter drill and barricade the door and get away from the windows. I think that they fail to realize that the child or adult that may shoot up a school is also participating in the mass shooter drill, so they know exactly what the protocol is. So I don't think it makes anybody any safer. See, parents used to lie to us to protect us. We had nuclear war drills, but they called them tornado drills, and they made them fun. Okay, everybody, you hear the siren? Everybody go down to this room in the school basement and sit down, and we would just laugh and have a good time. No, that was not, because there are no tornadoes in Milwaukee. There aren't any. The closest we've had, I think there was a touchdown like 25, 26 years ago near the airport, but that's it. We don't get tornadoes in Milwaukee, so those were nuclear war drills. That would freak us out as kids. Hey, kids, the Russians might be dropping bombs. They're going to vaporize all of us, so we're going to do a drill in case that actually happens. That would freak us out. That would traumatize us back in the day. So they lied to us, and they said, oh, it's just a severe weather drill. The violence that is everywhere in our society. We talked about it a lot yesterday. Talked about the incarceration, the huge disparity. So Wisconsin, black people are 12 times more likely to be incarcerated than white people. 1 in 36 black men at some point in time are just in jail. Something like 30 or 40% of African-American men from Milwaukee will be in the correction system in one form or another. We have our average when it comes to incarceration for black men is like 3 times higher than the national average. And I presented that information yesterday with no solution. I just wanted you all to be aware of it. Like something is going on. There's violence in our society because it's always been there. I mean, violence is a part of human history, but now it's everywhere. And the young people that are getting involved in it, participating in it, they're getting younger and younger and younger, the victims and the perpetrators. So when you go into a classroom to teach children, now more than ever, discipline and the lack thereof of the students disrupts learning more than anything else. And so we go to West Memphis, Arkansas, where a teacher in West Memphis is facing charges after allegedly assaulting a student. The West Memphis Police Department was called to the school after an incident involving a student and a teacher on April 15th. The teacher, identified as Tracy Matthews, was taken into custody and is now charged with aggravated assault. Police say that the arrest took place after school officers detained surveillance footage from the incident. Matthews is currently on bond. Following the arrest, West Memphis School District released the following statement. The West Memphis School District is aware of an isolated incident at Wonder Junior High School. The safety and well-being of our students and staff is the district's top priority. We appreciate our partnership with the West Memphis Police Department, which contributes to the safety of all district schools. Being a law enforcement matter, the district has no further comments. So here's what happened. The student got into a verbal altercation with the teacher, where the student called the teacher bruh. Or bro. That's how the kids talk. Kids call their mama bro. I wish I would have called Emma Hughes bro. I'd wake up in a coma with probably several missing limbs if I ever did that. But you know that's how the kids talk because there's no basic modicum of respect. You don't call someone that can be your parent bro or sis. You don't do that. We're not peers. And the teacher said in so many words, hey, I'm not your bro. And the kid said, okay, little bro. And then the teacher choked the kid. Okay, look, maybe that's a little excessive, but the level of respect that young people have for adults in authority is problematic because I don't know why young people are not being told this. There are some kids that talk that way to their mothers, their guardians, their caretakers, their grandmothers, their fathers, if they have them. And they think it's okay to talk to other adults that way. But at some point in their young lives, they're going to run into what we call the wrong one on the wrong day. Because if they're not brought up to not just respect authority, you gotta fear it. How I was brought up, which I know has very little bearing on where we are today, I wasn't more afraid of the police, of my principal, of my teachers, than I was my own father. There was levels to it. Yes, I had respect for the police, and I had respect for my teachers, and I had respect for other adults, but I had more respect for my father. So my understanding of authority, it literally started at home, and that understanding of authority, it transferred and translated into the greater society. Because if I had respect for my father, because I was told that I had to, and I had respect for my mother because that is how I was raised and brought up, and it was reinforced in my developmental environment. I could not speak to adults a certain way, or I could speak to an adult a certain way one time, once, and I'd learn a lesson and I wouldn't do it again. If kids don't have some basic level of respect for elders, adults, and authority, someone may kill them, because remember, we live in a very, very violent world. And so I wanted to take a look because, I'm always in my education mode because I want Milwaukee to have a future and I want us to have a workforce. I also want you guys to consider this. Some of these YNs that are terrorizing the city and stealing cars and doing takeovers are going to be running for public office one day. Go figure. So what we pour into them right now, whatever we invest in them right now, is likely the output we're going to get at some point in the future. And right now, I'm not thinking the future looks too bright. I have some information about the Milwaukee Public Schools. And by the way, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we're going to be speaking with Dr. Brenda Casilius. She is the superintendent of the Milwaukee Public School System. I'm very much looking forward to that conversation. So that's tomorrow at 10. Hope you're able to join us. It should be insightful, and hopefully we learn a lot more about the difficulties and the inner workings of the system, because it's easy for us to just complain about it and look at the numbers and how low the reading scores are and the math scores are. There's a lot more to it, and I want us to be much more well-versed, as we should be, because we're paying for it. And they're going to be asking us for more money, which is fine. You can always ask for more money, but explain to us why you think you need it. So us getting a little bit more detailed information from the superintendent tomorrow may help make our decisions a little bit easier when it comes to the district. So a lot of things changed since COVID. Classroom disruption existed. It always has. But it got worse, dramatically worse, and more dangerous post-COVID. And I cannot give you all the details of why that is, and the psychology of people changed, and the kids changed, and their routines got turned upside down, and everything just went haywire for a little while. And I thought the MPS students were kept out of school for way too long. Other school districts were sending their kids back to school, and yes, they were wearing masks. They even did these things where they put these plastic barricades up around the students' desks. We could have done all of that, but we didn't, because the teachers union was like, nah, let's keep them home for another year. I don't believe that was beneficial. But one of the reasons why the teachers union banded together and made sure that MPS stayed closed a little bit longer than other schools is those teachers were afraid of getting COVID. Then get the shot. Hey, question. Have any of you died from the COVID shot yet? I'm waiting for everyone to die all of a sudden. Has anybody been microchipped? Nobody wants to microchip you. We don't need to. We already know literally everything about you. People share more about who they are, what they do, where they go, who they're involved with, where they're eating at restaurants than a microchip could even get. We share everything just as it is. We know where you're going. We know where you live. We know where you work. We know how much money you make. We know all of the things. Don't nobody got to microchip you. And here's what's crazy. We trade all that privacy away just to post stuff on the social medias. It's wild. There is substantial evidence that both disruptive classroom behavior and violence/aggression toward educators increased after COVID in Milwaukee public schools, consistent with national post-pandemic trends. Because MPS does not publish a single clean teacher attacked by student annual dashboard, which they should, the strongest objective case comes from combining official discipline/suspension totals, state and independent audit findings, teacher testimony and retention data, documented assaults/incidents reported publicly, and national educator survey showing post-COVID spike. So I'm going to get into the details of it. And so I also wanted to look for, because we're looking at this story, or I told you about this story from West Memphis, Arkansas, where a teacher just snapped and just choked a kid. I would choke a kid. I know myself. I couldn't tolerate disrespect. A 16 or a 17-year-old boy that's not sure that he's a man yet would decide to challenge any man that is in his vicinity, and if he challenges me, I give him one time. You challenge me one time. Because I get it, right? You smelling yourself a little bit. You think you're tough. You want to show out in front of your friends. He ain't getting no attention at home. He's going to get it in the classroom. Cool, I give you one. Next time, I'm throwing hands. That's why I can't be a teacher. I'll punch your kid. It's not my kid. I would punch a kid because 16, you can drive a car. You're getting close to adulthood. You have some levels of responsibility at 16, at 17. Oh, at 18, it's on. Now we're fighting. But you got to show these kids that they can't talk to adults like that. Now, here's the problem I probably would face if I punched a kid. Other kids might gang up on me. You're right. It might be a takeover in my classroom because now I got to punch girls. But hold on, though. But listen, relax. If they're punching me, what am I supposed to do? Get punched? Girls can hit hard. I'm over here trying to teach these kids how to read, and they're over here cussing at me, standing on their desks, playing music, got their faces buried in their phone, not listening to what I'm saying. Y'all remember some years ago, I think it was in South Carolina, where a school resource officer, which, by the way, we didn't used to have those. Now, where I went to school, we didn't need to have a cop in a school ready to make an arrest. We didn't need it. So it was a black. Don't laugh, Sherwin. It's not funny because some of y'all are agreeing with how the kids are acting in the classroom. You need to get punched, too. I got two hands, but they can make their way around a room. The little black girl that she was being disruptive in class, and the teacher was like, hey, you need to get out of here. You're being kicked out of class. Go to the principal's office. And the little girl just didn't move. Just sat there. And the teacher was like, yo, you got to go. Get out. She was just like on her tablet or something. And the school resource officer came in and she wasn't listening to him either. And so he picked the desk up and slammed her on the ground. Oh, we had a fit about that. She listened after she hit the ground. Sometimes someone's voice doesn't have the same impact and authority as your face slamming on the linoleum of a school floor. Listen, I'm not over here trying to teach violence. I'm trying to save these kids' lives. Because at some point in time, they're going to run into the wrong one. They're not going to listen to someone that's much bigger than them, that's more angry, who's had a bad day, and it's not going to end well for them. So we need to teach them. Because they're not learning any other way. You can talk to these kids until they're blue in the face. I've even seen some parents apologize to their kids. Hi, Johnny, can you do your homework? I'm sorry, I'm asking you to do your homework. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you think my parents ever apologized to me? Ever? That's probably why I'm so screwed up, because I think my mother apologized to me once. One time. And I think my aunt made her apologize to me. Hi, Johnny, can you stop punching your sister in the face? She's only 2. Please, Johnny, stop hitting your sister in the face. Take a break, come back, reveal exactly how bad it is in the Milwaukee public school system, this violence that these students are perpetrating against adults and against teachers. It's so bad that more, and this is a problem. We got to figure this out now. More of a teacher's time is dedicated to discipline and disruptions than it is learning, teaching, and instructing. This should not happen. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we don't leave success to chance. We're designed for it. With strong support, high expectations, and a team committed to excellence, our educators turn belief into outcomes every day. If you believe every child deserves an excellent education, join Milwaukee College Prep. Apply today. Visit mkeprep.com/jobs. Truth Nation, join the Milwaukee County Office of Equity on Saturday, April 25th at 10 a.m. for the Story of Wealth exhibition at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society. Discover how policies have shaped financial opportunities in Milwaukee and learn how we can break down barriers to success. Hear from a panel including keynote speaker James J.B. Bell. This event is free to attend with food provided, door prizes, and great music, so make sure you get there early.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
If oil gets to $90 a barrel, I'll be able to pay off my house. I think war is awful. It's terrible. It doesn't resolve things. It creates long-lasting hatred and even more conflict that the American people are always going to find themselves involved in.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
But if I don't have a mortgage, you know what I mean? You take the good with the bad. Didn't Donald Trump say he was going to end the wars? You can't have America first if you're involved in all these foreign wars. And there's people that believed him when he said that. He doesn't like wars. He said it many times. Said it on the campaign trail.
Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
He's bombed just as much in his first year as any warmongering hawk president we've ever seen since World War II.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
A 56-year-old teacher in Arkansas, Tracy Matthews, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault after a classroom incident was caught on camera. The incident started when a student said, "Bruh, I don't have a computer." Matthews replied, "I'm not your bruh, I'm your sir." The student then sealed his fate by saying, "My bad, little bruh." According to the police report, that's when Matthews snapped. He allegedly grabbed the student, pushed him against a desk, followed him out of the classroom, and then choked him against a wall until it was hard for him to breathe. And I'm looking at a mugshot of the teacher. It is an African-American teacher. You have to keep in mind that these teachers, they deal with it all the time. All the time. That wasn't that teacher's first incident. Assuming this teacher has been in the profession for some decades, they've seen the behavior get worse and worse and worse and worse. And everybody's got a breaking point. You have a breaking point. I have a breaking point. Sometimes I reach my breaking point before noon. Hell, sometimes I reach it before 10 a.m. Now, I know that it's not the proper way for a teacher to respond, but at the end of the day, how much of it can you actually take? When you are there, you're getting up every single morning, and you don't want to get up some days. Some days you don't feel well. Some days you're very tired. Some days you're sick, but you are going to this job, which is mostly thankless, to try and get these young people as best prepared for an uncertain future as you possibly can. You are sacrificing for them. Now, depending upon where you are in your career, you probably don't make enough money, but you do it for the love. Nobody teaches for the money. I don't think so. Like, after a while, it can be about the money, but when you're first starting out, you're not making wealth-producing income. You do it because you love young people, you want to help them, you want to see them succeed, and you want to be a part of shaping a bright future. And imagine the very children that you were trying to help, and they can't see it. Kids don't know. I didn't realize what my teachers did for me until well into adulthood, and how tolerant they were of me. Oh, I thank my lucky stars for some of my teachers. And you have this big heart, and you want to help these children because you know that the world is ferocious. It is. The world doesn't care. It'll eat you up. Corporate America will swallow you whole. Most people are not prepared for it. I know full-grown middle-aged adults that are not prepared for the rigors and the trials and tribulations of corporate America. And these teachers, they know that. They know what these kids are up against. They got to compete against one another. They're competing against kids in other countries. And for that child to be so disrespectful, just imagine for a moment your frustration. Now, I know that this wasn't the right thing to do, but we're at a point right now, we're at what I call critical mass, where discipline and classroom disruption takes more of a teacher's time than actually providing lessons to young people. If someone claims there has not been an increase in classroom disruption and attacks on teachers and MPS post-COVID, the available evidence strongly contradicts their claim. This one is getting me right here. Now, listen, hold on now before you go all crazy. We have a major racial disparity in discipline in MPS schools. I can say there's teacher bias in that. I can say that there's some cases where if a white student acts in a particular way, their discipline is less harsh than if a black student does the exact same offense. That exists. But what if, and this is a big what if, this is not set in stone and this is not law, but let me just throw this out here. What if black kids are just worse behaved? Is that possible? I'm just saying, is it possible even in some parallel universe, which Milwaukee, Wisconsin is a parallel universe? Is it possible that some black children have homes that are a little bit more turbulent? They and their families are living in survival mode. They've been traumatized because they live in the houses and in the neighborhoods where there's intense gun violence and there's the threat of gun violence. In fact, if you're a young black boy between the ages of 15 and damn near 35, almost middle age, your number one cause of death is homicide. Then after that, it's stroke, diabetes, high blood pressure. So it's rough. Is it possible? I'm just asking. I'm not... Because I can say stuff that white people can't say. A white radio host can't say, yeah, black kids are terribly worse behaved. I can say it. What if, instead of us saying, oh, all white people are racist, which to some extent they are, but at some point, I kind of don't blame them. I don't know. Hold on. Relax before you freak out. I don't blame somebody for their ignorance because they don't know any better. It's almost unfair because do you know how many different flavors of white people I know? I know so many different kinds of white people. It's impossible for me to judge all of them. I've met nerdy white folks, gamer white folks, jock, athlete white folks, stoner white folks, drug addicted white folks, rich white folks, poor white folks that are black, that talk black. I've met white folks that make gumbo. There's so many different kinds of whites. They're all so different. But do they all have some kind of racial bias? Well, of course they do. But for me to lump them all together and say they're all racist, that's not true. Hell, I know white people that don't like other white people. And they confide in me, like, Sherwin. I was like, yes, white person that I know. I can't stand these white folks. I'm like, really? Say more about that. What if it's possible? I'm not saying that it's the truth. I just want you to think about the many possibilities that sometimes black children come to school not to learn, but to get out of their houses and to disrupt and to be seen and to be noticed and to get love. Because for some children, Acting up and being disruptive gets them attention. Now, it's negative attention, but it's attention nonetheless. Some of these kids are just ignored. Their emotions are ignored. Their feelings are ignored, but they go to school and they get all the attention they ever could want. Now, again, it's negative attention, but do you see how that can add up and build up? And then it becomes a part of the youth culture. Oh, Johnny is acting up, then Susie's going to act up too. Why I use those names for black children, I have no idea. Tens of thousands of suspensions annually at MPS. Audits stating discipline consumes, quote, most of teachers' school days. Safety protocol overhauls, repeated teacher assault incidents, teacher reports of disorder, fear, burnout, and lack of support. National data showing educator-directed aggression surged after the schools reopened post-COVID. Disruptive classroom behavior, clear post-COVID increase. An MPS audit says that discipline consumes most of teachers' time. A 2025 independent instructional audit of the Milwaukee Public Schools system reported that teachers told auditors student discipline takes up most of their days and teachers do not feel supported. That is an extraordinary statement because it means classroom management, not instruction, becomes dominant. Before COVID, the article says, discipline was a challenge. After COVID, teachers reported it became so severe that it displaced instruction itself. That is direct evidence of increased disruption. I'm going to say this part, then I'm going to take a break. There were 24,000 suspensions in MPS last year. There's 60,000 students. We're going to pick that up on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Thank you, Milwaukee. The Tory Low Community Cleanup presented by MMSD was an incredible success, and it's all because of you. Thank you to the families, volunteers, and community leaders who came together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. A very special thank you to our amazing partners, Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousins Subs, and Waste Management for helping make the Tory Low Cleanup a success. Together, we are making Milwaukee cleaner, stronger, and better, one block at a time.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
When we talk about more parental involvement, I don't know if it's helping your kids with their homework, because some parents can't. They can't. Once these kids get past like 7th or 8th grade, the parents, they don't know that math. They can't help them. Parental involvement should be behavior modification. That's how I'm giving an opinion now, but I think that could be more helpful, because if teachers are in a district where 90+% of the kids are not on grade level. And remember, if a child is in 3rd grade and they can't read on the 3rd grade level and they automatically go to 4th grade, and they can't read on the 3rd grade level and they automatically go to 5th grade and they can't read on the 3rd grade level, it's not like 7th grade is going to teach you how to read in 3rd grade. It doesn't. Those are different languages that are being spoken. And by the time that child gets to high school, academically, a lot of them are lost. Now, some of them we can get back, but far too many we can't. So you're already dealing with that climate. And then if you have behavioral issues that are taking up more time than actual instructing, this is our problem. I can't just put this on the district. You can only do so much with the raw material. If you give me a lump of clay, which I don't recommend, but if you did, I can only do so much with it. I could make a bowl. I could make a vase. I can't build a car with it. I can't build a spaceship. You can only do so much with the raw material that you receive. Wisconsin Public Radio reported that the Milwaukee Public School System had 24,000 suspensions in the prior school year. That was reported August of 2024. To put that in perspective, MPS enrollment at the time was 67,000 students. That means, because of behavioral disruptions, suspension events equaled roughly 1 suspension for every 2.8 kids. How, you ain't gonna learn. You're not gonna learn. 1 suspension for essentially every 3 kids? That's difficult to, especially if the child, let's say they're behind. Missing school because you're kicked out of school because you got suspended doesn't necessarily help you catch up. And if we think about this in more broader terms, let's say these children happen to get high school diplomas. What is a diploma worth? Because they're going out into the world where they haven't learned basic modicums of decency and respect for authority. What kind of employee do you think they're going to be? You've seen it. Some of y'all have seen it. Because in the very low-level service sector jobs, because some of these folks, they're not qualified to get a $100,000 job, especially out of high school. You know that. And you see them at the very lowest levels of the service industry. Maybe they're working fast food. You see the attitudes? You see how they have no respect for the customer? Now, it's not all the time, but it's far too often. I remember going to Popeyes on 28th and Capitol. They ran out of chicken, and they got mad at me. They yelled at me. I was over there apologizing to them because they ran out of chicken breasts. 1 suspension for every 2.8 students or about. Oh, you ready for this? MPS averages 130 suspensions every day for 180 days of the school year. What? 130 a day? Post-COVID behavioral regression was national, and MPS fits the pattern. Across the United States, school districts reported after reopening post-COVID more defiance, more fights, more refusal to follow directions, emotional dysregulation, learning loss tied to frustration, and attendance collapse. You can't blame the teachers for this. You can blame them for other things. But now I'm over here changing my tune a little bit. So a teacher that gets through a school day, school week, a school month, and a school year that didn't punch a kid, you didn't punch a single kid for 180 days, you deserve an award. You've earned your summer vacation more than they have. To get through a whole school year and to throw 0 hands, to put 0 belt to student ass. That's commendable. Because think about, have you ever seen how they talk to these teachers? They call female teachers, the B word. Holy smokes. And another thing that they do is sometimes the lady teachers, because there's always a couple, not nearly enough, black male teachers don't oftentimes have these problems. They got issues, but they're respected a little bit more, statistically slightly more. So you'll have a Caucasian teacher that doesn't want to be overbearing, and also she's probably outmatched and outsized by one of her students. What that Caucasian teacher oftentimes does, and I've heard this a million times, they'll go and get the black teacher from down the hall, the black male, Mr. Johnson. They'll go get Mr. Johnson, disrupting Mr. Johnson's class because Miss Susie is having a problem with one of her students, so they'll go and get Mr. Johnson to have him deal with it, because once school safety gets involved and once the school resource officer gets involved, then the kid, they're going to get in a whole bunch of trouble. And I can see these teachers not wanting these kids to get suspended, but 130 suspensions every single day. A lot of parents are at work, and when you're suspended, unless they're in-school suspension, do they even do that anymore, or do they just kick the kids out? In-school suspension is jail. It's totally. I had an in-school suspension once. I'm like, this is foul. Send me home.
Yeah, you're just sitting in a room staring at walls.
We called them Saturdays. Saturday detention, where you had to be. So if you got a certain number of, and some of our like study hall aides, who now that I think about it, I think they were all like drug addicts. But our study hall aides would just write detentions for anything. And if you can't serve your detention after school, then they give you a Saturday detention. I had football practice. I can't go to a detention. I'd rather do a Saturday detention than listen to my coach screaming at me because I missed football practice. Plus, I'm a starter. I had to play. You understand me? But Saturday detentions was fun. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue our conversation for hour 2, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Coming with straight truth.
Did you go along with this? Did you plot this out? Did you go into the store with the intentions of causing a negative situation? This is the part that people don't like once they get into court after they get caught. Now, should he be executed for killing somebody he didn't do? I don't think so. He's already serving life. He's going to die in prison. I think that's what's going to happen. At the same time, this is a message to the younger folks.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
When you get a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, things get real. And nobody understands that better than the Parkinson's Foundation. All across the country, we provide resources and support in the fight against Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement.
The Parkinson's Foundation is dedicated to improving care and advancing research towards a cure.
And when you call our helpline, you'll speak to a real person who can help you find the right information. Because while living with Parkinson's can be challenging, there are things you can do to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's for years, or caring for a loved one,
when Parkinson's gets real, find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
Go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Talking about a shocking series of statistics coming from our very expensive local school district here in Milwaukee. And if you are listening from another part of the country, you likely can relate, since children return to school after COVID. Disciplinary infractions have gone up. Refusals to follow direction have gone up. Learning loss, of course, has been measurable. And it is a problem in which currently disruptive behavior takes more of a teacher's time than actual instruction. And this does not bode well, especially in a district where we have such high numbers of young people that are not even on their proper grade level when it comes to reading comprehension, and math. But then it also can translate out into the greater community, where if they don't respect their teachers, their instructors, they're not going to respect other authority figures, and other adults are not going to respect their elders. And when we have the conversation about parental involvement, because we use that term very loosely, it's almost like, oh, the kids are messed up. Well, we need more parental involvement. We got to be specific. And what kind of parental involvement? I don't think that teachers expect parents to help the kids with their homework. I might be a bad example, but I'd be like, hey, Mom, can you help me with this? She'd be like, nah, figure it out. Sometimes, though, she would. My pops was just working. He just was making all the money we would spend. Sometimes she'd help me, but for the most part, she's like, nah, you figure it out. This will help your problem-solving skills. But the person that she sent to school was, for the most part, well-behaved. I mean, I was talkative. I was loquacious, to say the least. But look at me now, right? It all worked out. But that was the worst of it. I didn't really get in a lot of trouble. I didn't get in any fights. Nobody wanted to fight me, really. I'm trying to think. But also, we could fight, as long as the fight wasn't really, really bad and severe, as long as it wasn't a brawl, teachers would be like, break it up. Stop it, kids. They'd let us fight a little bit. On the playground, I can't even tell you the name of the game, but so we'd have these gigantic, you can't even do this anymore. They would plow the snow on the playground at Brown Deer Middle School. I remember it like it was yesterday. There'd be a mountain of snow 20 feet high, and we play King of the Hill. Well, I'm going to be King of the Hill. I'm going to go to the top. And so when someone got to the top of the hill, you pushed them off of a mountain of snow, and you didn't care if they hit the ground below. That's your problem. We did some awful things, but we didn't really get in trouble like that. But our behavior in the classroom was reasonable. Outside, I think they let us be a little bit more rambunctious. You know, boys will be boys. But yeah, we fought a little bit on the playground. There's another dynamic that the Chapter 220 program that we had in Brown Deer was fascinating. And I know there have been case studies on when children, usually black, are bused into suburban schools to help integrate, which in itself is unfair because that disrupts the black children. They got to get up earlier and travel all the way across town. And then the school that they are going to and the community where that school is it's like a foreign country. It's very different. But what I learned, because there was such contrast, keeping in mind, in the 80s and the 1990s, MPS had way more black teachers. I don't know what the ratio is now, but it just seemed like there were way more black teachers at MPS than there are now. A lot of those black teachers, at least of that era, they've all retired. And I don't know if this next generation of teachers are as black as the previous. A lot of people that went to MPS, let's say in the 70s and 80s and the 90s, most of y'all had all black teachers or more black teachers than white. Like the music teacher was white. The choir instructor probably was white. But for the most part, they had a lot of black teachers. What Chapter 220 students taught me, they pointed out the racism of white people. Because I didn't really know. I just thought that, this is just how some white teachers and administrators act. We actually had a walkout in 1990. You can look it up. Still on the internet. We walked out of Brown Deer High School because of some racist stuff. It was very well organized. The seniors went and got all of the juniors. Pulled us out of class. I was in Mr. Ritterbush's math class where I didn't want to be anyway. Mr. Ritterbush was boring. It's hard to learn boring math from a boring teacher. He didn't make it fun. And I'll never forget, Artist Landon came in and said, because we knew the walkout, we knew what day it was, but we didn't know when we were leaving. We didn't know. There's all this tension. It's a walkout today. When are we going to walk out? We're going to walk out because racism. I remember Artist Landon, I was in 10th grade. Artist opened the door to the classroom, and he pointed to all the black students like, let's go. I looked at Mr. Ritterbush, and I shrugged my shoulders. I was like, gotta go walk out now. Gotta go do some civil rightsy stuff. But they were very good for showing us the contrasting behaviors, because how black teachers treated black students in MPS in the 80s and 90s was very, very different, because I think there were some teachers that really resented the Chapter 220 program. Whether they admit that or not, I don't know, but they didn't want these black kids because they were very different. Their behavior was different. They dressed different. They all wore Jordans. They all wore British Knights. It was different. It was culture shock for everybody. I loved it, though. I love black people. I love sitting with black folks. High school was tough, though, because we had one of the most segregated lunchrooms you could ever imagine. Like, I couldn't sit with my white friends anymore. I just couldn't. You can't. I tried. They're like, nah, you can't sit with them no more. But we're talking about kids that I sat with since I was in kindergarten. I had to say goodbye to them.
Why?
That was the caste system at Brown Deer. Well, I sat with the football players. And at the time, most of Brown Deer High School's football team was black. So it was hyper segregated. Plus, if you're a football player, you don't want to sit with the other kids. The other kids are beneath you. Like, we were somewhat above the law. Like, I would do stuff and not get in trouble because our assistant principal was also our football coach. Sherwin, you're being disruptive. Go to the principal's office. All right. Hey, coach, what's going on? Come on in, Sherwin. Come on, let's talk about Friday's game plan. What class do you got next? Mr. Ritterbush's math class. Mr. Ritterbush is boring. Here, hang out with me for a while. Here, we're going to go here and we're going to... He was basically a facsimile of John Madden. My football coach was. May George Blanchard rest in peace. He was an institution. But we got special privileges, especially if we were winning. And another one of the special privileges were, well, of course, cheerleaders. But discipline, but also because we were involved in athletics, I'm going to get back on track in a second. Don't worry. I didn't want any disciplinary infractions because that means I would be jeopardizing what I love to do, and that was to play football. I wouldn't start. I might get kicked off the team. Like, you can't be a troublemaking kid and still participate in athletics. So we had to keep our grades up. So there was expectations that were set on us, and I don't even know if those expectations exist anymore. So few young people nowadays, and maybe because they're cutting all the extracurriculars out and they're cutting out sports, young people that participate in team sports, they fare better in life because you're going to be working on a team. You have to know what your role is, what your assignment is, and when you do your role and when you do your assignment, then the entire team can win. Because we're so individualized right now, I don't know if young people see it that way. Our parents used to, they said, you're going to get involved in something. You're going to be in a sport. You're going to play an instrument. They knew, because that teaches a kind of cooperation and collaboration, even with people that you may not agree with. Because there were some kids I played football with that I didn't necessarily like them. I didn't kick it with them. But we're going to win this damn game. You're going to run. You're going to block. You're going to tackle. You're going to throw the ball. You're going to catch the ball. And you learn that kind of teamwork. And all that stuff is fading away. Where are young people? If you don't have siblings, which I'd imagine most people do. But if you don't have any siblings, where are you learning teamwork and cooperation? Let's talk to Jason. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing good, Sherwin. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Okay. I was just calling to kind of confirm what you were talking about as a former teacher in MPS.
Oh, you got some stories, Jason.
I really do. But yeah, just the amount of time that you spend on discipline, you're almost unable to teach your classroom. I was thinking about it actually yesterday, and I probably spent maybe 2 hours out of my school day, if you add all the times where I was interrupted by students, by behavior, where I didn't even teach.
So how would you handle it?
You kind of just push through. You push through. You try to deal with the student that's misbehaving, but the problem is that when that becomes the culture of your classroom, where it's not really a culture of kids trying to excel, it becomes more of a behavioral thing where the kids feed off of that. And so once you're putting out that fire, then you're putting out another fire from another student, and another fire. And, kids are not, they're not stupid. And they know that, this also takes away from instruction. I remember as a kid when the sub would come in, sometimes we would disrupt class so the sub couldn't do what they wanted to do. But I'm not a sub. I'm the regular teacher. And you can't kick kids out. You can't send them to an administrator. You can't even let them sit in the hallway. Administration will get on you about that. But just sit out here. I'm going to keep the door open, and I'm just going to watch you, let you calm down a little bit. That's not allowed. The worst day for MPS Sherwin is when they decided to get rid of the self-contained classrooms and put the behavioral disabled kids back into the regular ed classroom. Back in the day, there used to be, these classrooms where kids with behavior issues would be.
Sure.
But I would probably say in the last 14 years, I think it was something done within the state that said that, these kids have to be in the regular classroom. And that is such a distraction. And that's why, that 2 hour time that I just talked about where I'm not involved in instruction, Sherwin, that's the achievement gap. That's the achievement gap that you didn't experience in Brown Deer. That's the achievement gap they don't have in Brookfield or in Whitefish Bay. 2 hours. And, our kids need that. They need that time. They need that instruction if they're going to be competitive with kids from these other districts.
Jason, when did you retire, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I will say this. I've been out for about the last 3 years.
Okay. When did you start?
I've been out for the last 3 years.
I'd imagine you noticed a real
I started in 2000.
Okay, it was getting bad in 2000. Did you notice a worsening of student behavior throughout the early 2000s, the 2010s, et cetera?
I have. Okay. I definitely have seen an increase. And, you know, when you talk about that 24,000 some odd kids being suspended,
yes,
suspended is like that. So they really don't want to suspend kids, you know, and I get it and I understand it. They want the books to look good, but you could have a fight in your classroom, send the kid out with an administrator, and then they come right back.
Oh, wow.
In 15 minutes. There is no, with the exception, if you can get to a parent, talk to a parent, there is no consequences. Zero.
And they know that. They know they can do whatever they want. They can get away with it and they'll be right back in class 15 minutes later.
You're exactly right.
All right. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
One more thing, Sherwin, before I go. Just, you know, I'm going to ask you a question. If your son or daughter came home and they said, Mom, Dad, whatever, I didn't learn anything today. I didn't learn anything because the kids are just so bad. The teacher wasn't able to give us instruction. And you asked me before about how I dealt with it. Sometimes I teach to a part of the classroom.
Wow.
The kids that want to learn, hey, you guys come over here. You guys come over here. Sit over here. And we're just going to ignore these other kids. But like I was saying, if you get that type of report from your kid, what you going to do? What would you do?
Find
Which
another.
seems to be the pattern
the
of most.
easy answer is if
There you go.
If it happened more often, I'm pulling my child out of that school. Like they just because I'm not going to try and change the behaviors of the other kids. Maybe if I know some of the kids that are being disrupted, if I know their mamas and their daddies, I might have a man-to-man or a man-to-woman conversation. Like, hey, your kid is disrupting the class. Other than that, I'd be like, yeah, we can't do this. We got to go somewhere else. But now I got to pay probably tuition for a private school.
You're right.
Which they're trying to shut down. They're trying to shut down the voucher program.
They are, but because with the behaviors, you're going to move your kid. I actually drove past Milwaukee Lutheran yesterday. Nothing but black kids. Nothing but black kids. And that's what people are going to continue to do. I just don't know what MPS is going to do because kids, any parent that gives a darn about their kid is moving their kid out to a different school.
Thank you, Jason.
Take care.
All right. Appreciate your call. Let me add this little bit. We treated substitute teachers worse than slaves. You walk into that classroom and you see that sub, you're like, well, boy. Well, look what we got here. Check this out, boys. We got us a substitute. Oh, we were just horribly disrespectful. And I remember you'd have in a substitute, you can't do nothing. Because the kids would be like, yo, we don't know you. Who are you? You have no authority. We'll never see you again. We don't substitute teacher. And some kids would just walk out of class. Like, yeah, I'll see y'all third period. I'm out of here. I'm not going to be in here for this. Some kids go to the library. Some kids might cut school altogether. And then, well, what happened the next day when your teacher came back? What did the teacher say? I am so disappointed in how you treated that substitute. And we would say, well, you should have been here. Well, we used to be so terrible to our substitute. It felt like a vacation day. Because the subs, they would walk into the class and they didn't know what was going on. Okay, hi. It looks like your teacher left me some notes. Can you guys pull out your geography textbook? Kiss my ass! I'm not pulling out nothing. Please, can you? Please, no. Your mama's so fat, she irons her clothes in the driveway. Or whatever we would say. We would say many things. We would just defeat the substitute teacher. It was so bad. But then when our teacher came back, I got a terrible report from the substitute teacher. And then we would blame the sub. Well, Miss Teacher, the substitute teacher, tried to molest us. So we were just defending ourselves. We would just lie. God, I miss them days. Y'all remember that feeling of walking into the class you hated the most and your teacher wasn't there? It was a sub. Oh, they were just not even human to us. Like, who are you? We don't know you. What are your credentials? They always had big fupas. Even the male substitutes, they were just fupaed out. They had large fupas. I think that was a requirement to be a substitute teacher in the 80s and the 90s. Your pants have got to be pulled up to your chest, and it just has to be all one big mass of fupa. Male or female substitute teacher, it did not matter. We treated you like we treated people in the Jim Crow South. Well, guess what, substitute? If you want to use the bathroom, you got to go to specific substitute-only bathroom. You can't use our bathrooms. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third down.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
Are you planning a special event? Do you need a personal chef? Either way, make it tasteful. I'm Alicia the Chef, owner of Tasteful Events Catering, and we create customized food experiences for any occasion. We bring quality, flavor, and professionalism to every table. Whether it's a special event or everyday meal solutions, we focus on delivering more than just food. We create experiences. Book today or learn more online at www.tastefuleventscatering.com.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Back to the good old days where we could threaten a substitute teacher's life and they would just give you all of their money out of their wallet. LT says, Our substitute teachers took attendance, rolled in that cart with the VHS and the TV, or had an assignment and took attendance before the end of the class, and you better stayed or else. LT, I bet that TV back in your day was black and white. I bet your VCRs was big. Remember how big VCRs used to be? LT got to be about 60. We didn't have to have any respect. Nobody respected substitute teachers. Even other teachers were just like, yeah, we don't know you. Who are you? Where'd they get you from? Now, there were a couple of subs that were cool. There were some substitutes that we had. Because substitute teachers, if I'm not mistaken, they're not limited to a grade. There might be some that only sub for high school, but we had some substitute teachers from elementary school, middle school, and high school. Miss Relke was her name. I swear she was 105 years old. She was 105 years old in 1983 and also 105 years old in 1993. Can't believe I can mention 1983. That was 43 years ago. I remember like it was yesterday.
I wasn't born.
I know you weren't born, Xavier. You missed the best times. Back when everybody was listening to Michael Jackson's Thriller album before Mike got weird.
I was around for the 90s and early 2000s.
That was a different Mike. Mike of the 80s was the solo artist that left the Jackson 5 for good reason. He was way more dynamic and explosive. Michael Jackson was pop culture. He was. So was Prince. They were basically it. Now, everybody makes music, and most of it is really, really bad. I'm sorry, y'all. This Milwaukee, I think they call it low-end music, sucks. It's basically kids that didn't learn how to read.
Yeah, no, it's a whole new wave of rap that's coming out. It's not just Milwaukee.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible is one thing, but it's the similes, the metaphors, the way they assemble the English language, and what they call bars nowadays is literally anything that rhymes. Yo, 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 son, yo, and they don't even say that no more. Little Bo Peep had a bunch of sheep. Bars! Yo, 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 Mary, Mary had a little lamb. Bars! Shut up! You can read at a 6th grade level. You can tell. It's so bad. It's impacting every part of our culture. I have some other things that I want to share with you on how, whether it be the classroom disruptions and the discipline and the children not being on grade level, another way in which it manifests itself. I've got some details on, it's so bad, Black-owned businesses, what they are, how many there are, how much money they make, and I contrast them with, of course, white-owned businesses. We are on a whole nother planet. I was going to say Planet of the Apes, but that's racist. What? A white person can't say that?
Well, I guess you can, you know. We're black.
That's still really offensive.
Is it?
Calling a black person an ape or a monkey? Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's more offensive than the N-word, because I know they all say the N-word. They don't say it to me, though, not to my face. It's been a long time since I've heard a white person say the N-word to me and mean it. I've heard white people say it maybe casually or with the soft A ending, but it's been a while. Kyle Wallace was talking about a racist event that he had at the McKinley Marina where the guy wasn't very nice, and I guess the attendant was supposed to pump Kyle's gas for his boat, and the guy wouldn't do that, and the guy was supposed to help Kyle launch his boat. He didn't do that. And what I want to tell Kyle is that they're not okay with us owning boats, but they are okay with us being on them, unless it's a Carnival cruise ship. They hate our success. I relish in it. White people be getting so jealous. Well, how come these black people have all these nice cars? I mean, I drive a damn Tesla. If that's not throwing in a white person's face. I drive a car made by a racist white man, and white people sometimes can't even drive a car made by a racist white man. But I love it. I love that car more every single day. It is the best. Let me go ahead and search deep now. And I'm not really a car bragging person, but it's the best anything I've ever owned. And I have a house. That car is the best anything. What have I purchased? I used to have a really, really cool microwave. I'm trying to think of what other electronic appliance. It's not a car, it's an appliance. What's the best thing I've ever bought? A nice suit? I don't know. What is the best thing I've ever... Well, this car is probably it. I can tell it where to drive me, and then I can just like check my emails while the car drives. I can tell it what I want to listen to, what channel, what station, what news broadcast, what music, what song, what artist. I can say my feet are cold. I push a button and everything is voice activated because they don't want you taking your eyes off the road. I can be like, yeah, my feet are cold. It'll make my feet warm. It's so nice. Sometimes I forget how much Elon Musk hates us, but
Well, just don't be too critical of him, because I'm sure one of those days the people that have been talking crap, they'll just like drive you guys out into the ocean.
I mean, you can do that. They can take control. The CIA can already take control of any electronically connected vehicle as it is, so I ain't worried about it.
Well, it's more Palantir now. I don't know if you read their latest manifesto, but it's pretty insane.
I mean, AI is going to be the end of civilization. Might as well enjoy it while we can. All right, let me get back to... You got to get me back on task now. I don't need a producer. I need a babysitter. What is it? Here we go. Across the United States, school districts reported after reopening post-COVID, more defiance, more fights, more refusal to follow directions, more emotional dysregulation, learning loss tied to frustration and attendance collapse, violence/attacks on teachers, clear evidence of an increase, publicly documented teacher assaults in MPS buildings, Bruce Elementary, teacher attacked in classroom. Oh, there's another variable we got to worry about too. The parents are also attacking and fighting the teachers. You know how demoralizing that would be? Because I always try and put myself in these situations like, what would Sherwin do? Kind of like, what would Jesus do, but without Jesus? If a kid was like, ooh, my mama coming up here to fight you, I'd start flirting with the mother, take her out on a date, have sex with her, and then tell the kid, hey, I banged your mother. So you want to be careful on if you want to tell your mother to come up here and yell at me because I cracked your mom. And then all the other kids would make fun of that kid. That's revenge. Now, if a boy said, oh, I'm going to bring my daddy up here, and I kicked that disruptive boy's daddy's ass, you know how demoralizing that is? I'm like, hey, disruptive kid, I had sex with your mother and kicked your father's ass. Maybe you should sit down and be quiet. And the student would be like, I guess so. Because that's how you defeat a student. Kid come home from school one day, and I'm walking around the kitchen naked, drinking up the last of the Kool-Aid. That kid would be mad. I'm like, hey, you shouldn't have been disruptive in my class. Now I'm your stepdaddy.
Sounds like you're trying to create a school shooter.
MPS kids don't shoot. Not in school, they don't.
Well, if you did their mother and beat up their father, that might be a different story.
I'm the victim in all of this. I didn't want to have to crack that boy's mama. I did it so that I can have better classroom management. Do you understand me? Brenda Caselli, if she's listening to this, she's not going to come on my show tomorrow. I got to get my act together because this is just...
Well, we won't talk like that. This is just fun.
But also, I'm giving you guys details as to why I should not be a teacher. I'm over here fighting daddies and cracking mamas. Well, I mean, what else can you do? Teachers can only do so much. I'd have to get psychological on the kid. Flirt with take his mama out to dinner.
What if the mama's not very pleasing on the eyes?
I'll find something cute about her. Because I'm doing this to manage my classroom. So this is actually work for me. I'm going to clock in. Like, I'm going to punch in. Like, I'm going to get paid for that's an extracurricular activity. And I got to do this so I can one-up the kid. Because I can't have the kid one-upping me in the classroom. Imagine if a student is like, yeah, shut up, Mr. Hughes, and he's using a whole bunch of profanity, and he's yelling and screaming at me. And I said, hey, I hit your mom from the back. That student shuts up. All the other students be like, ooh, Mr. Hughes hit your mama. Ooh.
Then they'd be like, yeah, my mom weighs 300 pounds and has 6 kids and smells like spoiled milk.
Oh, they don't care. That would defeat, because these boys are protective of their mamas.
Yes.
Well, hey, man, come here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. I can tell that kid, like, hey, kid, I've been in where you came out of. We have something in common. That's awful. I take that back. That was not nice. Was that offensive? Who did I offend with that?
I don't get offended by a lot. So.
All right. Take a break, come back. Bruce Elementary attacked in a classroom. A parent entered a classroom and allegedly pushed a teacher into a wall and struck her in the head multiple times in front of the students. Benjamin Franklin School, teacher attacked during a meeting. Longtime special ed teacher was attacked on campus during a parent-teacher meeting. School safety officers assaulted. An NPS parent was charged after allegedly attacking a school safety officer. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Need a quick, delicious way to fuel your day? Try one of our new protein power plays from Cousin Subs. Power Ham, Power Turkey, Power Club, Power Tuna. 4 craveable 5-inch subs on freshly baked Italian bread. Packed with protein, up to 33 grams. All for just $7.99 for a limited time. It's the flavor you love with the fuel you need. Grab a protein power play in store, online, or on the Cousin Subs app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our telephone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I really wouldn't want to have to go to such extreme measures to manage my classroom, but clearly with this uptick and not just disruptions in the classroom, the disruptions are taking up more of the school day than actual instruction. You got to do something. You got to think out of the box. I'm very creative. And usually it's just a couple of bad kids, and then all the other kids follow. So if you can get to the root of the problem, which is, in my third hour political science class, if kids even take political science, if there's two kids, probably boys, that are acting up, crack their moms. Somebody in the chat said, the kid will say that rumor that your ex game was whack and that you were a 2-minute man, game over. You know what's crazy? That kid will look even more stupid if I cracked their mother and they're bragging about how bad I was having sex with their mom. Like, you're a fool. And first of all, I don't guarantee a lot of minutes. So it depends on how I'm feeling. 2 minutes might be all you get. Or 2 minutes at a time. Like, what do you want from me? What I'm trying to impress you? No. I got other stuff that I need to be doing. I ain't got time for it. I mean, start to finish, beginning to end, 30 minutes. That's everything. About the time it takes to get a Domino's pizza. I'm not over here, 3 and 4 hours. Are you stupid? 3 or 4 hours? The only thing I want to do for 3 hours is a radio show. I don't even want to drive for 3 hours. 3 hours? You're insane. Some men think that's the flex. Real women know. It don't take that long. It don't take... Quite honestly, if everybody knows what they're doing and if you're locked into each other, everybody's all sorted out in 5 minutes. I'll let her go first. She gets hers. I get mine. Do it during...
pretty fast.
You can just do it during sometimes when you watch the cheap monthly Netflix with the commercials in it. Oh, hey, there's 4 commercials playing. Let's go ahead and sort each other out before the show comes back on. She'd be like, cool. You know what I mean? You don't. But you're young, X. You probably have stuff to prove to women. You will prove everything to them, and they will still go and be with the dude from high school. So you can think you're doing everything right. You can love with an open heart. They'll eat you up because they are trained to just find a dude that's better than you.
Yeah, I know.
And they should. If I'm not the best a woman can do, because then she's settling for me, because then her attitude is going to change. She's not going to respect me. You know what the worst thing is? When I see a woman, I hate this so much, and I feel bad for these dudes. When she disrespects her man in public or in front of like friends and company, drives me insane. Robert, he's so stupid, you guys. I told him to pick up his clothes. He's just so dumb. He's an idiot. And Robert, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, honey.
That's madness.
You know what else is madness? Bob, you're on 101.7 The Truth.
Hello, Sherwin. I don't know which one it is. Your topic that made me call in, or God that made me call in, gangstering me. I don't know which one. I got to figure that out. But here's why I called in. Everybody seems to know the scripture: spare the rod, or you'll spoil the child. And see, they stopped having people with kids because they whip kids. They do not spank kids. They beat kids for ridiculous reasons. So they just made it a law in the United States, you can't hit kids. So I could understand that. And when they made that law, my kids said, yeah, Dad, you can't hit us no more. I don't know if I was threatening them then or they was of age. Because when you get to be 10, 11, especially 12, you let them kids be who they are and how they are. You just let them be. I mean, you talk to them and you punish them, but you can't be spanking them no more. And when they're 10, 11, especially 12. And my last point, I can't understand why these kids can't read. My father got kicked out when he was 13. He didn't go to high school. and he could read. I just can't understand how. I can't imagine how kids don't know how to read. It's hard for me to imagine. Talk to you later, you aggravating individual. Talk to you later.
Why you have to throw insults in? I wasn't saying nothing insulting to him. You see what he does? You see
Kind
that?
of like your arch enemy almost, right?
And then people get mad at me like, oh, Sherwin, why you be so mean to Bob? Because Bob be asking for it. Bob is like a schoolyard bully. And whenever I defend myself, y'all get mad at me. I can understand how kids can't read. First of all, we stopped teaching phonics. We stopped teaching cursive, whether you agree with that or not. A kid that cannot sign their name is functionally illiterate. If you cannot read cursive, you cannot read original documents that were written in cursive. They're basically omitting a part of literacy. How can you not? There's some kids that can't sign their name because everything is all computerized now. There's a whole bunch of ways in which a kid can't read. Some kids might need additional instruction, a little bit of extra help. Some kids might have dyslexia and it's undiagnosed. And so if there's so much time dedicated to dealing with discipline issues in the classroom, the child that may need a little extra help with their words and their pronunciation and their penmanship may not get it, but they're going to get advanced to the next grade no matter what. So it's very, very possible. I mean, there's some kids that, hell, I barely knew algebra when I graduated. Math did not work for me. I had like weird math anxiety. Now I'm okay with it because there's more practical applications in math because most math is basically, I'm not doing physics over here. But some of the stuff they was teaching me in X and the Y axis and 3x squared times 42 Pythagorean theorem 3218. Now, good. If I was going to be a mathematician or a scientist or some kind of a person like that, absolutely I would need to know that math. I don't need to know that math. I like social studies class. I was real good at that. All right, what we going to do here? Take a break, come back, talk to Lee on the other side. I want to have a conversation about black-owned businesses. So black-owned businesses are important for reasons more than where African Americans spend their money, because a black-owned business that's successful should have white customers and Asian customers from Turkey. You want a large customer base because that means you've got good product, good price, good service, and you're competitive, right? To think that your black-owned business is only going to have black customers because black consumers are stretched thin. I think that that's a misnomer. And also, there shouldn't be a negative perception of black-owned businesses like it's some kind of a charity. Some of my woke white friends are like, oh, Sherwin, I want to support a black business this week. Where should I spend my money? No. What do you already buy? And if there's a black person that sells the product or the service that you already buy, well, then go look at their Google reviews. Don't look at me to be your resource for charity. It's two things that people call me for. I'm going to let y'all know this. 3. Who should I vote for? What black business I should support? I'm not kidding you. And the third one is, do you know a lawyer? I just got that text message yesterday. Sherwin, I need a lawyer. Why y'all always getting in trouble? And I'm only going to recommend either Dan Adams or Tony Cotton. Oh, somebody texted me yesterday, and y'all know who it is. I'm not going to tell you who the person is that texted me. They texted me during my show, Sherwin, can you find me a lawyer? Oh, wait, what they say? A reasonably priced lawyer. Reasonably priced private lawyer means you're going to jail. So either get a public defender and pay nothing, or buy your freedom like OJ did. There's no in between. There's no Groupon for a defense attorney. Sherwin, can you find me a defense attorney that's reasonably priced? You're going to jail. You're going to wish you spent the money when they put you in the shoe. You're speaking with Sherwin Hughes. He hosts The Truth with Sherwin Hughes Monday through Friday on 101.7 FM. You can listen to us online at 1017thetruth.com. You can find us on social media, on the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikToks, and also on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and you'll be a better person for it. And it may improve your credit score. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
Another function of white supremacy, don't teach black people stuff, because if you give us a little bit of knowledge, we'll invent something totally new. That's why it was illegal to teach slaves to read, because if we could read, then we could write. And if we could write, we could communicate. And if we could communicate, we could plan. And if we could plan, we could strategize. And if we can plan and write and read and communicate and strategize, we could overthrow white supremacy, because they've always known how fragile it is.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Courts. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Gruber Offices, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let's talk to Lee. Hi, Lee.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Sherwin. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I was calling. There's a video on YouTube, and I think people should check it out. I think they might learn something from this. It's called 25 Strict House Rules from the 1970s that black kids will remember. And I think we learn something from that.
Can you repeat the title once again?
All right, hold on. Okay, it's called 25 Strict House Rules from the 1970s. Only black kids will remember.
25 strict house rules?
I think you would enjoy it yourself. The 25 Strict House Rules. It's on YouTube.
Oh, I see it right here. Is there any profanity in it?
Yes, sir. No profanity. I mean, it takes you back in the 1970s during the period when we were growing up, back old school. And I think some of the younger families need to check this video out because it can be used as a teaching video. So I hope people check it out.
All right. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of videos.
It sure is, sir. Right. I think you'll enjoy it, too. It'll take you back.
Even though I was born in 75. Fair enough. Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
Well, share it, okay?
All right.
I think you'll enjoy it, and we can learn something from it. They should teach that in school.
I don't disagree. Sure. All right, thank you, Lee. Appreciate you sharing the little YouTube. Let me see what this is here.
That were strict, sacred, and never to be questioned. These house rules shaped childhoods, taught respect, and kept families running smoothly. Here are 25 strict house rules from the 1970s that black kids who grew up during this era will never forget. Eating in the living room was absolutely forbidden in black households during the 1970s. The living room was reserved for company and special occasions, not for everyday snacking or mealtime.
True.
Parents made it clear that food stayed in the kitchen where the table was, and anyone caught sneaking a sandwich or a bag of chips into that off-limits space faced serious consequences. The furniture in the living room, often covered in plastic to keep it pristine,
that's tacky,
was too valuable to risk staining with crumbs or spills. Kids learned early that the carpet in there was not for walking on with dirty feet, let alone dropping food. Mothers worked hard to keep that room looking perfect for when guests arrived, and no child was going to ruin it with a popsicle or a plate of leftovers. For black kids growing up in the 1970s, the living room might as well have been a museum, and they knew better than whether that meant being grounded, getting a whipping, or losing outdoor privileges entirely. The streetlights represented the boundary between freedom and responsibility.
All right, what's this one?
Socialize and reinforce their faith. Kids who tried to claim illness or fatigue found themselves dressed and in the car anyway, because missing church was simply not an option. Mothers and
these all make sense. I'll tell you what, to this very day, I have a dining room in my house, like a formal dining room. I don't know how formal it is. I guess. So I don't have an eat-in kitchen. I eat at the dining room table. I live alone. That's where I eat. People come over to my house, Sherwin, can we eat in the living room? You cannot. You sit at the table because we're civilized here, you caveman or cave woman. Unless it's a really attractive woman, I'll let her eat wherever she wants to. I once went to Subway for a girl I was seeing and served her Subway sandwich in my bed where she was laying. Lettuce all over the place. But it was fine because
it was worth it in the end, right?
I mean, until it wasn't worth it no more, because then at the end of the day, all I got is lettuce in the bed.
Well, you didn't get any reward?
She got the reward. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be back for Hour 3.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing, streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle, while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 101.7 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I need to check our YouTube poll. It wasn't a question that is at all related to the topic today. I'm just curious, in this hyper-individualistic society, how many of you have tattoos? I'm not judging you. A lot of people have tattoos. I have none. I'm going to give a strong opinion. In modern America, a virgin isn't a person who has been untouched intimately. A virgin is someone who doesn't have any tattoos. Very, very hard to find nowadays. So I got to go back to our YouTube channel because I pulled up the 25 strict rules that black kids will remember from the 70s. Go check that out on YouTube, 25 strict rules that black kids or whatever, something black kids. All right, let's see here what the poll looks like. It's gone. Where the poll at? Oh, I got it. Where's X? You got access to the poll. What? Hang on a second.
53% says, now it changed. 52% says yes, and 48% say no.
I think that represents an older age cohort because I'll bet you 50% of the people under 30 have tattoos. There's actual psychology behind people that don't have tattoos. It's fascinating. If I have nothing else to talk about, I might talk about that one day. I don't think it's going to be today, but I'm just curious to see how many of you have tattoos. I don't have them because, make this as simple as possible. Because now people, Sherwin, how much ink do you have? 0? Oh, Sherwin, I know you got some tattoos. Do I come across as a tattooed person? I should not. I hope I don't. Whatever I would have gotten at, 18, 19, 20, 21, however I was feeling, whatever I was thinking, very few of my thoughts, feelings, emotions, and opinions at 21 or 22 or 18 or 19, whatever, are the same at 51. However I was feeling then, whatever I knew about the world, whatever my limited experiences were, then I have a different feeling about all of that right now. The reason why I don't have tattoos, and I had to like think back, because I remember when all my friends was getting tattoos. Back in the 90s, dudes were getting barbed wire around their biceps and getting like a bulldog tattooed on their arm. All of that is stupid. That's my opinion. Let me not be mean to people that have tattoos, because they mean a lot to people that get them. They mean something to you. People get everything from their mama's name. What, are you going to forget your mama's name? I really love the people that have a tattoo of not even a spouse, but like a boyfriend or a girlfriend tattooed on their body. You're a whole fool. Because you're not together anymore. That's why you... I know a woman. She's really cool. Very good friend of mine. Has a man's name tattooed on her bottom. She's beautiful too. But she can't wear certain kind of bathing suits because she's embarrassed. And she's like, oh, I don't see it very often because it's on my butt. I was like, you need to get that covered up. She was like, I'll just pretend it's not there. If you get a significant other's name tattooed on your body, your relationship is doomed. Because that person doesn't have any reason to respect you. But here's the thing. I think it would be cool if a woman got my name tattooed on her body. In fact, ladies, any takers, any ladies want to get, you don't have to get my whole name, but just an S. That'd be cool. Make sure you take a picture of it. But like, I don't owe you anything if you do it. That's you making that choice. Why I'm glad I don't have any tattoos is because whatever I would have decided on then, 51-year-old Sherwin doesn't have a say-so, right? So we sold short what 51-year-old Sherwin would want, would like, would be into, would be enthralled by, you know what I mean? Because 19-year-old Sherwin liked certain stuff when he was 19 because his brain was 19. And my frontal lobe wasn't even formed yet. So anything that I did then that was permanent, guarantee it'd be a mistake later on in life. Because whatever my sentiments were, whatever my experiences were then, I'm like, oh, this is going to be forever. Nothing is forever. That ink is, and I've seen people that have tried to get their tattoos removed, it looks worse. They don't come off. I wouldn't be giving my older, more mature self a chance to disagree with what 19-year-old Sherwin did. And let me go ahead and say this. 51-year-old Sherwin is way more important than 19-year-old Sherwin. Way more important. He's done more. He's accomplished more. He has created more. He is much more significant than he was when he was 19. So anything that I would have marked on my body at 19 would be something that I now would either be embarrassed about. And some people are like, oh, I'm not embarrassed about any of my tattoos. This is what I went through. Yeah, but if you could go back, you wouldn't have. I don't want the tattoo gang to come after me because it's clearly half of the people that are listening or responding to this poll. But you're not giving your future self a chance to decide, because your future self is going to wear what your past self did. I've seen people covered. I mean, it's artistic. Some tattoos are really dope. They're like walking pieces of art. But it's also trauma. Now, this is just me. Please don't get offended, okay? I don't want to offend nobody. You made the choice. It's your tattoo. I'm sure you love it very much. I'm sure people like your tattoos or whatever. But I've never met a person who is excessively tattooed that is not wildly traumatized. Like, their life was bad. And to make it better, they write on themselves. Like, some stuff happened to them that they probably rather not relive, they'd rather forget. So how do they reward themselves? By writing it on their body where they can see it and relive it forever. Or they say, oh, well, this experience that I went through changed me. Then maybe you should think about writing a book. Have you ever thought about like writing stuff down? You feel a lot better. But then I heard from many people that it's addicting. You can't get just one. I don't need that in my life. That's a bad thing to get addicted to. My longest recent adult relationship Hell, she's older than me. I'm 51. She's got to be, I think she just turned 53 in December. 54. She don't look it, though. Got a tattoo, a matching tattoo with her daughter at like the age of 47. I'm like, yo, I called her bro. I was like, bro, you went 47 years with no ink, and then your daughter, who's in a tattoo phase, decided they got like each other's initials. I'm like, why would you get peer pressured by your child? I looked at her and I said to myself, I don't like her anymore. If you can get peer pressured by your child, you are influenced by the wrong people.
What if that's her best friend?
That's even worse. People that have, man, I got so many stories. It's a problem bigger than most people realize. I don't want to say her name, but I got to be careful because I'm picturing this individual in my head. We went on one date. She was so boring. Beautiful, though. Damn, she was, man, listen to me. I just stared at her. I was like, she wasn't stimulating intellectually. She wasn't smart. She really wasn't a critical thinker. She had a great job, but she didn't offer, you know what I mean? You know how you want to feel something? I was like, as fine as she is, I need to feel just the slightest bit of chemistry. And I just didn't. I could see why her only friend was her daughter. Her daughter is like in her mid-20s. And what's crazy is like her and her daughter will go out to eat together. They travel together. They go to concerts and shows together. They're big live music people. And the other part that I didn't get is her and her daughter would dress like complete and total thoughts and go out. Like the mom was 50-something years old. It doesn't look it, though. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a 50-year-old woman today looks like a 27-year-old woman back in the 80s and 90s. 50 looks good if they take care of themselves and they eat right. But she wear these tiny little itty-bitty little skirts and these lace tops, and her daughter would be dressed the same way. I'm thinking to myself, that's age appropriate for your daughter, but for you, and she's like, oh, my daughter's my best friend. And the daughter is also too old to be living at home because, you know, I had inquired. I was like, well, what if, can we ever hang out at your house? She's like, well, my daughter's going to be there. I'm thinking to myself, your daughter needs an apartment in Beloit. But she's one of those people where she can't function without her kids. Like, that's a debilitation. I can't be with a woman like that. You raise your kids. Look who on line one. I know they got the truth. If you got to do a bunch of stuff with your child, it's cool, though, to see a mother and a daughter get along like that because that doesn't always happen. But her daughter was like her only friend, not just her best friend. Like she didn't have any other friends. It was just her and her daughter. There's something about that that's not healthy because it doesn't encourage the daughter to go out and hang out with other people. You know what I mean?
The daughter didn't have friends?
No.
Oh, no, that's weird then.
Because I stalked the daughter's social media. Let me see what I'm getting into. Because clearly they're a unit. And all the daughter's Facebook was pictures of her and her mama dressed up like thoughts at concerts and at like Summerfest. I'm like, I'm not getting involved with this. And no shade, but that just ain't for me. Like, come on now. You know how women need 6 feet, a 6-pack, a 6-figure income? They want all these things. What I'm looking for is even more strict than that. Just a woman that's normal, that ain't hurt, that ain't traumatized, that's not going to blame me for every other past relationship. If I can find that, I'll get a second wife.
You might as well just win the lottery.
Twice. It's just not possible. And also, a woman that grew up in survival mode will not be compatible with someone that didn't, because their man is supposed to be their everything, their emotional support, predict what they're thinking, know how they're feeling, know what they want to eat, lead them and guide them. At the same time, you can't tell her what to do. I'm not playing that game no more. What is this? What are you, a child? It's so bad. I can't. It's everywhere. Because if she grew up without and wanting and emotionally neglected, and God forbid if she was abused, then now all that is on me. I'm not a therapist, and if I was a therapist, I would be a terrible one. Hi, Dr. Hughes. Thank you so much for seeing me. Oh, yeah, of course. Lay down on the couch and make yourself comfortable. So what's going on? oh, I don't know, I just don't feel well and I'm sad and depressed. Maybe you should get your fat ass off the couch and go for a walk, maybe. You ever think about that? Oh, Dr. Hughes, shut up, get out of my office. Session over. I couldn't say that. Oh, my husband doesn't do everything that I tell him to do, and sometimes he makes me accountable for things that I say, and I don't like it. He needs to divorce you. Oh, therapist Hughes, why would you say that? Because it's true. Now get your ass up out of the office and go for a walk with the last lady I kicked out of here.
Sounds like a pretty good therapist to me.
Imagine if I made $200 an hour to say that. Y'all wouldn't hear me no more on the radio. Hi, welcome to Sherwin's therapy practice. I run commercials on 101.7 The Truth, though.
There you go.
Like, hey, everybody, come on down to Sherwin's therapy. Buy one session, get two free. Baby mamas, baby daddies, MILFs and GILFs, welcome. Buy one, get one free. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 101.7 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Miles says, damn, Sherwin, you stalking the daughter? Yep. If you have photographs that are public on your social media, you want people to see them. You's a whole fool if you're going to be involved with somebody and not see what they're posting on social media. That's a direct reflection on you. Miles, do you know what women are doing? They're C-capping us, background checking us, riding past our house at 12 o'clock. You got to do your research. Aren't we always telling people, do your research? You got to do your research on people. Some of y'all would be way better off had you done a little bit of research. You can't trust that somebody's going to be honest with you. Then you're a fool. Like, I'll just get to know them, and then I'll just get to know whatever they want to tell me. They're going to lie, as they probably should. People know all about me because I say how I feel every single day. You know what you're getting with me. You can listen to me. You know my feelings, my opinions. You know my politics. So I don't got to do a lot of explaining, but if I don't know you and I can't listen to you every single day, basically y'all are listening to me at work. You're listening, you see my work life. I post a lot of my personal life and my social life on social media. Women are slick though. And they're horrible at approaching men. Y'all are awful. It's funny because it's cute. So women will slide into DMs too. You guys know that. But it'll be something like, oh, Sherwin, I liked what you said during your third segment of hour 2. Can you send me the link? I'm like, nah, you don't want the link. You want to link. I appreciate that. Oh, Sherwin, LOL, LOL, LOL. I love your show. You're so funny. Yeah, I know. Yeah, keep laughing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hi, Al. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. One thing I was going to say is don't bring all that unnecessary stress on yourself. Just go with the flow. You know, some of these things, you opening too many doors when the doors have not been asked to get open. You know, if y'all, you're dating or whatever, just say, well, I'm going to cook this today. So you just make sure you come on. But all this seeking and finding, that's too much. It's like you're looking for an answer that you really want to find. So don't put that baggage on you, because if you find what you want, you still wouldn't be happy. And never, ever, 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 ever be intimidated by a woman in survival mode, because if you're good at what you do, your presentation is always going to be on point. But a woman in survival mode always know when to step in, when she might say, well, here, let me talk to you, baby. It might be a different way you can deliver this.
I can't do it. But also, I'm in a different situation than most. I can't be out here with some tackhead scallywag, because it's going to be a poor reflection on me and my brain. I got to be real careful. Because I'm going to tell you what, there was one day I went out to lunch with a tackhead scallywag, and I got caught. I got caught slipping by one of my listeners. Worst day of my life. He thought it was so funny. He bought us both a drink.
Well, you got to stop going places where you could be seen. You're supposed to be a loser.
I know.
So you revealing way too much. See, when you reveal too much, they take that and use it against you. No, don't do that. That's how you get everything all effed up. You know what I'm saying? Why would you give them the bullet and the gun to F you up?
Amen.
Don't do that. But anyway, what I was going to say, whatever you decide to do, just be your best. If you get tattoos, love them. Don't get them and regret them. They represent who you are, and live your life and do it up and do it down and do it good.
I hope I didn't offend you, Al, because you sent us pictures of your tattoos, and honestly, I've never seen anything like Al's tattoos. Al, you basically have representations of who you are as a person, and even some of the things that you talk about when you call our shows are represented on your body. In fact, I think I have your tattoos saved on this computer, because I wanted to show them to Carrie a long time ago, and Carrie couldn't believe it. Hell, I couldn't believe it. Have you gotten any new tattoos lately?
Well, actually, I'm going to get another one. This is going to be, it's going to be two men messing around with each other with a woman sitting on his face. That's what I'm going to get. Because it's all about liberation and mental penetration and all that good stuff. So whatever you get, just get it and enjoy it. And don't be ashamed of it. It might be who you are. And when you put those energies in the universe, it might bring you what you want. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe a whole lot. So many that you have them on times and restrictions as you go through that Rolodex. But anyway, I just want y'all to have yourself a good day. They open up them boat rides at the lagoon. Because you were talking about dating, and they have some place I seen, I guess it's called Kerma, where you can make your own perfume over there. I think it's on the south side. But look into that. And then play you some Choice today. Was it a Pipe Me Down or something by Choice? Or BWP? Is the P still good to you?
Where are you putting those tattoos?
Say what?
Where are you putting that new tattoo at?
On my leg.
So people will be able to see it? Like during the summertime, probably, when you were in shorts, people can see it?
Well, it depends on where, if I roll the shorts up.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Al.
But have yourself a great day.
Oh, you too. All right, then. So we have, three host computers. We got a bunch of just screens in here. And so on the host computer that I use, that Kyle uses, Homer uses, Tori and Dr. Ken use. So when people send us stuff and they send us files and photographs, we will save them on this host computer, and then we'll send these pictures to our producers, and they can display them on YouTube, etc. So and there's a lot of stuff on this desktop of this host computer. As I'm looking for Al's tattoo pictures, they are downright obscene. And so what he just said that he was getting, he's got representations of similar things already on his body. But as I'm opening up what it looked like it's a thumbnail, okay, it says the Cream City Sexpo suggested attire. So there's a flyer that's saved to the host's desktop here. Now, it was last year, so you missed it. There was Saturday, May 10th. It says live band, live entertainment, live band, live kink demonstrations, a playroom. And so when this says playroom, we're not talking about a video game arcade here. Games and prizes. For more information, contact Muse33. Oh, this was one of JD the Poet's events. But I can't. That's a lot of stuff. Some of this must be Dr. Ken stuff. What is this here? Oh, that's one of mine. That's a picture of the skyline. All right. Who do we? Oh, we got Sandra. Let's talk to Sandra. Sandra, hi. How are you? Thank you for holding. You're on the air.
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Okay. I was listening to your choice of women and stuff. But anyways, I called to ask you.
You sound like you judging me.
No, I can't. I can't judge you. Because I'm an older woman now, so I'm not to judge anyone. You know, just do your thing.
It's rough out here. You know how screwed up Milwaukee is socially, all the crime and all the violence? There are people that reflect our downtrodden, negative social times that we're in, and there's people that reflect that. Women and men, so it's rough out here. Mm-hmm.
I know. I hear it all the time, and I have to defend us because, like I say, I just tell them, you go back through history, look at all the systemic stuff that was done to each central city in each state where the blacks are. So you know that was something that was done on purpose. But anyways, I always talk about it. But anyways, now the schools, you were speaking of schools, do you think they're trying to privatize the schools?
Who's trying to privatize the schools?
The city.
I am unaware of that.
Like the city where we have to pay for sending our kids to school. See, that would be another roadblock for black people because a lot of black people won't have that type of money. It seems like to me everything they do here, especially it's the schools, it's the hospital, it's the desert. It's always
Sandra,
something negative.
I want to clear that up because somebody might misinterpret what you said. The opposite is going on.
Okay.
So nobody is trying to privatize the schools. If parents want to send their children to a private school, and if those parents can't afford the tuition, we have a parental choice program. The slur that they use is called the voucher program. So that exists for families that can't afford $10,000, $20,000 a year in tuition. They can get a voucher and they can participate in a program where they can send their kids to private schools. And here's a note about some of the private schools, whether it be St. Joan Antietam or Pius or Dominican or Thomas More. Some of our elected officials went to and sent their kids to those private schools because what they did originally when we were forced to integrate the schools, because white folks never wanted to integrate the public schools, they then sent their kids to private schools. And they sent their kids to private schools because they know that black parents, black families don't have the tuition. So what the state has done is created a program to where if you can't afford the tuition, the state will pay on your behalf. What you suggested was they're trying to privatize the schools to keep the kids out. No, the teachers union want to make sure that the voucher program doesn't exist. They want to keep and lock poor black families into underperforming schools and not allow them to have the voucher program. So we're trying to expand access to private schools instead of take it away.
And we're trying to pay for it, right?
Well, it's all
paid
for anyway. So we're investing right now in Wisconsin.
Along the line somewhere that it will be the state don't want to pay for it or the city don't want to pay for it. Do you think that's going to happen?
No, with education, because that is something that states provide their population. They provide subsidized education. We are paying for MPS about $15,000 per child. And you may think we are getting our money's worth with the outcomes of MPS at $15,000 per child. The state is only paying about $7,000 for that child's education at a private school. So when children go to private schools, we actually are paying less money than if they go to MPS. And I would argue some private schools are outperforming some MPS schools because here's an example. Mandela Barnes went to a private school. State Senator Chris Larson went to a private school. My state senator, LaTanya Johnson, admitted on the air that if it wasn't for the parental choice program, she could not have afforded to send her child to Pius private school, and her child is now a college graduate.
Yeah. Okay, well, I thought I asked that. One more thing, I was just talking about tattoos. When I was taking home economics, the teacher would say never get tattoos and never get your ears pierced because she says as you grow old, the ears, they would droop, which they do because I did get mine pierced, and they droop now. And the tattoos would droop with age, and they would look like little old straggly tattoos as you're aging.
Your ears droop because you wore heavy, big earrings. My ears have been pierced since I was 16.
That's what it was.
See, exactly. But you got to wear earrings. You're a lady.
In your ear. I do wear them, but you put the dot in your ear, right? You put one little small earring, right?
Yes, a diamond.
And see, we did. We put the bigger ones that's heavier, and now I just have to put the little smaller ones now. I don't put the bigger ones no more. But that's what she said. So, one more thing real quick. Now, we ate with my dad. That was a family thing. That's why I guess families were more together. We always ate dinner with Dad. We had to say our blessings with our dad. And my mother, all she had to do was if we did something wrong, she's going to tell my dad, and he's going to get us. So she had that fear in us from Dad. So, that's basically what I had to say and find out about the schools and the money. And because they're always trying to find ways to capitalize something on, like the airplanes. Now you got to pay for your luggage overhead and all that other stuff. But, okay, Sherwin.
All right, then, Sandra.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, we got to probably clear up private schools. Private schools exist because white people did not want us to integrate into their schools, so they went to places where the tuition was higher than most poor black families could afford. We have found that to be unfair. Because you can afford tuition doesn't mean that children that can't afford tuition should be barred from those schools, because guess what that is? School segregation. The whole point was to end school segregation. Take a break, come back, talk to Dion on the other side. I don't know where this show is going. So far, so good, though, right? We're talking about some things.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do like a little therapy session.
You need the therapy. You need some help?
I don't need no therapy.
I want you to share. Or you feel comfortable sharing your dilemma with the audience? They're going to help you.
Oh, it's not really a dilemma. It's just an epiphany.
It's about a girl?
Just women in general.
Oof, gotta be careful with women in general. For the most part, their women are lovely. For the overwhelming most part, I like them very much a lot.
Oh yeah, I love women. I have lots of women friends.
But that's a whole conversation right there. I don't know if men and women can be friends like that. Most of them are fantastic. I love them so very much. They're so soft and they smell so good. But there's always a couple of bad ones that ruin it for the bunch. Like cops. Most cops are they're nice. Then there's a couple that murder. Most women are nice. Then there's a couple of women that murder, right? And they'll take all your stuff and they'll cheat on you. They'll do all the things. But most women they're so pretty. Well, they're all pretty now because they all filter their photos.
I hate filters.
Oh, man, listen. So bad.
Filters are a red flag for me.
But they're all filtered, though.
No.
I look better without filters. If I put a filter on my picture, I look feminine.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah, I don't want to look like that.
I'm an artist, so I don't like, fake stuff.
Good. Keep that energy. Appreciate that. All right, let's take a break, shall we? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
If oil gets to $90 a barrel, I'll be able to pay off my house. I think war is awful. It's terrible. It doesn't resolve things. It creates long-lasting hatred and even more conflict that the American people are always going to find themselves involved in.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
But if I don't have a mortgage, you know what I mean? You take the good with the bad. Didn't Donald Trump say he was going to end the wars? You can't have America first if you're involved in all these foreign wars. And there's people that believed him when he said that. He doesn't like wars. He said it many times. Said it on the campaign trail.
Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
He's bombed just as much in his first year as any warmongering hawk president we've ever seen since World War II.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Kinds, where can we start? We like them dumb and we like them smart. I like the ones with the pretty eyes. Well, I like all kinds of guys. Stop. What happened? How about the ones we especially like? Which ones? You know, the ones with the cars that go. I hear you. Hit it.
You don't know nothing about this, X.
I know a little bit about it.
Me and the posse with Bunny C. We were cruising in the Jags.
You over here triggering people in the YouTube chat.
I am?
Yeah, I think you made a blanket statement about women and not really a city girl. It's like, watch it.
I need to please.
Watch your step, Buster. She's always getting triggered by something. You need to relax.
At least she's feeling something from the show.
Oh, the show will definitely make people feel things. Talked about education today. Oh, we got the superintendent on tomorrow. She's going to... Miss Brenda, if you listen to today's show, I was kidding. I wouldn't really crack one of my disruptive students' mothers to get the students to act right. Only because I wouldn't put myself in that situation, meaning I wouldn't be a teacher. I was going to give you guys this information on, I guess I still can. We got some time left in the show. How one of the ways in which low levels of educational attainment can manifest itself in the future is that we will have lower amounts of black business startups. And black businesses are important because black businesses are much more likely to be located in predominantly black neighborhoods. Not always, but for the most part, they are. And they are much more likely to hire other African-American employees, which is important because our rates of employment are typically lower. There was a statistic that I'm sure needs to be updated, but I heard it a long time ago and I still used it. And it was during the Obama era. And if the existing black-owned businesses, because, there was a spike in African-American entrepreneurship in the days following the passage and people starting to enroll in the Affordable Care Act, because there are some people that had a desire to be an entrepreneur, starting their own business, doing whatever. But one of the reasons why they stayed employed at their current job is because the current job they were at offered insurance. And what the Affordable Care Act allowed folks to do is leave their current job, go to the marketplace, purchase insurance for very discounted rates, and that would allow them to maintain health care coverage and pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. And so at the time, if black-owned businesses, whatever the number was at the end of the Obama term, were able to hire just 2.2 more employees on average, the black unemployment rate would be 0. So that's pretty substantial. But if we have low levels of educational attainment, and let's assume that a percentage of these students that never get on grade level, yes, they may graduate from high school, and maybe some of them will go on to college and do wonderful things, but let's assume that a portion of those students that are not reading, writing, and understanding math on grade level don't start businesses, then we can project into the future another generation of lower levels of African-American unemployment. Now, we cannot guarantee that white businesses are going to hire us, especially in these days and times where DEI is looked at as the enemy. There's a lot of corporate America that are downsizing. I talked about how 300,000 African-American women have lost their jobs since Donald Trump came into office because positions that some African-American women hold are considered purely diversity, equity, and inclusion, even though they got the degree, they have the experience, they're very good at their jobs. A lot of them were eliminated. African-American women lost 300,000 jobs, but when I looked at the rest of the statistics, white men gained 365,000 jobs. White women gained 6 figures worth of jobs, and even Latina women gained jobs where African-American women lost them. So something is to be said about that. If you compare black and white-owned businesses in the same economy, the first one it says is white Americans own businesses at a much higher per capita rate. White-owned firms are larger on average. White-owned firms generate dramatically more revenue. White-owned firms employ more workers per firm. White-owned firms generally have better access to bank credit and startup capital. Black-owned firms are concentrated in lower capital, lower margin sectors more often. The gap narrows somewhat when firms have equal capital, industry, and age, but does not disappear. White people currently are 59% of the United States population. They are 80.6% of business owners. White people are 20% overrepresented when it comes to business ownership versus their population. African Americans, we are 14% of the population. Currently, we own 3.4% of the American businesses. We are severely underrepresented compared to our population. White ownership representation is noted as 1.37. Black ownership representation is 0.24. This implies that white Americans are approximately 6 times more likely, population adjusted, to own or be an employer than an African American. How many white-owned businesses do we, and this is just for comparison purposes, we are underrepresented versus our population when it comes to ownership of businesses. If black entrepreneurship and business ownership goes up, black unemployment goes down because we cannot count on Caucasian firms to give us an opportunity, or the amount of resume and education and experience we have to even be considered is so outrageously high that it may not be worth it because your salary may not reflect the amount of education and qualification that you have. But then there's the other unspoken thing. There are, and I don't even know if I can blame white folks for this. We change the culture of a workplace. We change the culture of a workplace to something that is more chic, more urban, more modern, more flexible, more fluid, and they may not want that. They may want to operate their business like their grandfather did back in 1957. When you hire a bunch of black employees and our creativity is allowed to flow, the entire paradigm of your business may change. And it may change for the better, but that's not a risk they are willing to take. In fact, I have seen businesses sacrifice their profitability instead of diversifying their staff. And if you do that, that's on you. If you want to lose $10, $15, $20 million a year, boo-boo, that is entirely on you. There are 4.8 million white-owned businesses in America. There are 201,000 black-owned businesses. That means white-owned employer firms outnumber black firms by 24 to 1. Oh, this number is ugly. Well, maybe not. Okay. Total receipts. So this doesn't include profit. This is all the money that a black business makes in a year. All of our 201,000 black businesses in America. There may be more than that, but these are the ones that are legitimate, legal, and registered. 201,000. Their total receipts are $249 billion a year. That's not small potatoes. That's $249 billion worth of economic activity. That ain't bad. That's $250 billion. What do you think total receipts are for white-owned businesses? Now, keep in mind there are 4.8 million Caucasian-owned, managed, and operated businesses in America. So black businesses, our total receipts are about $250 million a year, $249 billion a year. White-owned businesses, $17 trillion. Average revenue per employer firm. The average revenue from a white-owned business in America is $3.5 million a year. The average revenue per firm of a black-owned business is 1.24, which ain't horrible. Average white-owned employer firm revenue is 2.9 times higher. The Pew Research Center reports black-owned firms employ roughly 1.6 million workers, while white firms, and how much white firms, it says employs vastly more. Does it give us a number? No, it doesn't. So basically, damn near everybody. 71% of black-owned firms have between 1 and 9 employees. So we're still majority small businesses, black-owned firms are. Only 3% of black-owned businesses, only 3% of the 201,000, so was it 6,000, have 50 or more employees. Profitability. Lower average net income among black-owned firms, lower retained earnings, higher closure rates, thinner margins caused by smaller scale and capital constraints. What else? I'm a little upset they didn't give me how much average employees per black employer firm. 8. But it doesn't say how many. 1.6 were. Pew reports black-owned firms employ about 1.6 million workers, but it doesn't tell us how many white firms employ. Let me take a break, come back, continue our conversation. We need more black businesses in the future. But if the kids can't read and they can't write, and if they're fighting in the schools and teachers have got to spend all of their classroom time disciplining the kids, we're not on the right track to expanding our entrepreneurship. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we don't leave success to chance. We're designed for it. With strong support, high expectations, and a team committed to excellence, our educators turn belief into outcomes every day. If you believe every child deserves an excellent education, join Milwaukee College Prep. Apply today. Visit mkeprep.com/jobs.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents.
Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talk stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space, promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talk specializes in a range of treatments, including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
X, we don't have a lot of time. I mean, we can therapize you in 6 minutes.
Well, it's not that traumatic.
All right, you learned a lesson about ladies. About one lady in particular. Let's not mention any names now.
Oh, yeah, no, I won't. I think I have a few people that listen to me on this show, so I won't be too detailed.
You have a few people that listen to me. That's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They like when I chime in a little
All
bit.
right.
Like right now, they're on the edge of their seats.
Oh, I bet they are. Well, then give them something then. Give them some wise wisdom. Drop some bars on them.
Well, I don't know. The epiphany that I had is just, don't take a woman too serious and, take everything that she says with a grain of salt.
Ooh, you're going to get in trouble for saying that.
What? That's the truth.
You can't tell them the truth.
Well, I don't know. They're helping me learn the truth.
We as men tell each other the truth. You can't. Or you have to talk to them. There's a special way. It now depends on the woman. Sherwin, how do I look in this? I can't say bad. I can't say fat. I can't say unattractive. I have to say, I have to go into code switch mode. Sherwin, tell me how I look in this and be honest. I'm thinking about wearing this out to dinner tonight with you. What do you think? I'd be like, oh, sweetheart, you know that blue dress? I really love that blue one. Oh, the blue one that I got at Macy's? Yeah. I can't say, oh, you look disgusting. I can see your fupa. You look gross. And I can't say, I'm like, you know what? Do you remember that black dress that you wore to that party we went to in December, because she remembers that dress. I would have to just suggest something else.
What is the fupa that you keep? You said that like a couple times today. I'm confused. What is that?
Google it. Not from this computer though.
Oh yeah. I'll do it for my phone.
Yeah.
It's something graphic.
Some of them are. But it's something that even substitute teachers had in the 80s and the 90s. It's a fupa.
Oh, I don't think I'm dealing with too many fupas.
Good. But hold on, though. There's some fupas that are perfectly fine. But you got to...
Like what?
If you really want to do mechanic work, it's like a car with a hood. You got to lift up that fupa and get under the hood if you really want to change some oil.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? You got to lift it up. You got to get under there.
You're a fan of the BBW.
No, the hell, I can't. No, I can't say that either. I think that every person is they have beautiful things about them. Yeah. Every person does.
What? Some bigger women look good. They look good. Some women wear it well.
Exactly how big are we talking? I am shocked at what. Like even like a 210-pound woman looks like. If she's tall, like if she's 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much women weigh. You know, some women carry their weight very well. But when we're talking about the BBW that's attractive, we're talking about, just...
No, that's too far. There's weird psychology going on. I've noticed that if a woman who is wholly unattractive wearing an outfit that is not proper for her body type, she's feeling herself because all her girlfriends hype her up and she looks like a whole fool and she's wearing something that we all would agree is not flattering, but she'll post it on social media, and if you look at the comments, you go, girl, you wearing that outfit, girl, yes, slay, girl, and they're doing a little thing with their fingers, yes, girl, you are T. Women are encouraging that woman. They know she looks horrible, and they want to keep her looking horrible because she is no competition.
Or they're saying, no, you're braver than me.
Now, if it's a beautiful woman who all of us would consider beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic body, beautiful, everything about her is perfect, her commentary is going to be from men. Women ain't really going to chime in on a woman that's way more attractive. But if the woman is less attractive and she's not any kind of competition, you go, girl, you wearing that tiny mini skirt. Bertha, hell yeah, Bertha, you wear that. You better wear that out tonight, girl. Feet spilling all out of her shoes all run over to the side. Yeah, look at them heels you got on.
See, you're thinking of a SBBW.
But it's the real skinny dudes like big women. They love them. Little skinny, itty bitty dudes.
I've seen it.
I know it. Dudes be so little they can ride on their woman's back. Like if it's like we had this rain recently. We had a lot of flooding. And little skinny dudes be hopping on their girl's back and she'd wade through the water.
Yeah, like a hippo?
Wait. See, I didn't say that. Why would you say that?
Well, you're putting the mental imagery in my head.
That's not, you don't compare. Wade in the water. Wade. Miles says, oh, please, I will buy my lady that type of dress. Otherwise, if it was just me, you will have nothing on the way nature intended. Oh, I have purchased clothes for women, but it's a risk because I'll tell her, oh, Sherwin, well, I don't have anything to wear. Will you buy me something? Absolutely. But you got to wear it.
What have you bought them?
Oh, my. Way inappropriate attire.
Like lingerie?
Nah, that's too personal. And also, I'm not buying lingerie because I might only see her in it once and she'll probably be wearing it for somebody else. The show is over, right? We got to end the show now. All right, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Brenda Casilius, the MPS superintendent, will be in studio. Until then, see you later.
Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be